Awesome. Okay, it sounds like everyone can hear me and see my screen. Thank you for answering that. Like I mentioned, we are going to be going over how to build drip campaigns today. I do want to go over a couple of things before we begin. If you guys have any questions at all during the presentation, if you could just put those in the Q&A, that'd be really helpful for me. It's hard to keep track when they go into the chat. So if you have a question, please try to use the Q&A feature because that just helps me answer your questions. The first thing I wanted to go over today was actually activepipe.com. There are a lot of really helpful tools here that I just want to make sure everyone is aware of. So if you just bookmark activepipe.com, you'll have access to all of these things. A couple of key things I'll point out is we have a list of all of the integrations that we work with for CRMs, and that is here under integrations. Definitely worth checking out if you are having trouble getting contacts into ActivePipe. This is a great place to see if we actually can integrate and just pull those contacts in automatically for you. So go ahead and check that out. We also have an awesome blog. We try to put out a blog post like every week, if not a couple times a week. So you can actually come here and subscribe so that you're always staying in the know. And I would definitely recommend checking this out because there's some really good articles like this one, staying out of spam and that kind of thing. The next thing I wanted to go over was resources. The reason I wanted to highlight this is because it's just a really helpful tool, this knowledge base right here. You can come here and ask pretty much any question that you have. So today we're going to be creating campaigns. You can actually type in create campaign and it will pull in a ton of resources for you. It has step-by-step instructions. A lot of time it will have a really quick video. So if you need a refresher on anything we did today, I strongly recommend bookmarking this knowledge base that we have right here. And again, I found that in resources knowledge base. The last thing I wanted to point out was webinars. This is where we put all of our webinar recordings. You have to make sure that you select North America. And this will pull in all of our previous webinar recordings. And then if you want to register for upcoming ActivePipe, this month at ActivePipe webinars, this is where you can do that as well. So just wanted to make sure everyone was aware of those before beginning. And now I am going to dive into our demo account. All right, so today we're going to be spending most of our time in campaigns. The main thing that I want to highlight before we kind of dig into how to build campaigns is the difference between emails and campaigns. Emails, you are probably familiar with. You can come in here, have an email, and send it out right here through QuickSend. That's totally a valid option. Campaigns is very similar. It's going to have this recipient section. It's going to have a date and time section, and then it's just going to have a section to add your email. So campaigns can be as simple as this. But today we're going to really dive into the main difference or the main things that you can do in addition to that within campaigns. So for example, we're going to now go into campaigns. I'm going to come to create campaign. Something to note also is once you have sent out an email, it's going to show up in campaigns. And this is a great place for you to come check out the report associated with that email that you've sent out. And you'll find this in the campaign section. And that way you can see who's interacting with your emails, see how many people opened it, who the top people were that clicked on your links, all of that. So this is where you'll find the information. It's going to be in campaigns. Now I'm going to go to create campaign. So I came up with a couple of examples for you guys today. I thought a great simple campaign that we could start with was like a listing follow-up campaign. So maybe you send a listing and if someone clicks on it, we want to send a follow-up that says, hey, let's schedule a tour. So I'm just going to call this a listing campaign. This campaign name is internal facing only, so it doesn't matter what you call it because it's only for your reference. The contacts you send it to are not going to see it. And this part right here should look pretty familiar to you, just like when you go to quick send. It's going to ask you to select the contacts you want that to go to. You can select a certain tag. Maybe you want to send it to buyers, or maybe you want to send it to all contacts. You'll just need to make sure that you select the contacts that you want this email to go to. And the next step is selecting this giant blue plus sign. Well, I guess it's a white plus sign, but in a blue circle. And you'll see here that it's going to give you a bunch of different options. You'll notice that some of these are in gray, and that is because they don't make sense to add into this part of the campaign. So I call it stupid proof because it literally won't allow you to select these options because it doesn't make sense, which I think is a great feature. So I'm going to start off again with just a simple campaign. The first thing that I'm going to pick is just my date and time that I want this email campaign to go out. So if it's a listing campaign, you're probably going to have a listing go out maybe daily, but I'm just going to use weekly for this example. So we'll have our listing go out at 7 a.m., maybe every Thursday, and we can repeat this schedule for weekly. Something to note, if you guys are following along in your own account or notice that this looks a little different, maybe you don't have this repeat the schedule, that means that you're actually in another level of ActivePipe, and you'll definitely notice that some of the things that we have on here in this section you do not have. And if you're interested in adding any of those, feel free to reach out to our support team or message me, and we can talk about getting you an upgrade to your account. All right, so we have our date and time. The next thing is that we want our email, the listing email, to go out. So again, we're going to click on the blue circle and we're going to select the action send email. So we've got our contacts that it's going out to, we've got our date and time that it's scheduled for, and now we just need to select our email. So I'm just going to do weekly listing campaign. If you don't have your email created, you can actually come right in here and create from this template and go this route and just create that email to pull into the campaign, but we already have it created. So I'm just going to add it right in. And then if there's any edits I need to make, I can do that this way. So now, right, we are good to go. We can technically click save and activate, but I wanted to show you how you can kind of one up this weekly listing and make it a little bit more exciting and automated. So right now, this weekly listing email is going out every week, and something that we can do is actually add a delay. We can say maybe let's just do like after, we could do minutes, we could do after a day. Maybe they open this listing email and then one day later, we'd like to send a follow-up. So we'll go and click this plus button. And the next thing we want to do is select our condition. So I'm thinking here for anyone that clicked a link or clicked a property, I want to send them a follow-up email that offers them to schedule a tour with me. So I'm going to do if they clicked a property, we'll say they did click in our weekly listing campaign within the last day. We're going to now come in here and send them a follow-up email, schedule a tour. And now we're good to go. So now not only are we sending out a weekly listing campaign, but anyone that selects a property, we're taking another step to add in the option of giving them to schedule a tour. So once we are good to go, we can click save and that will be saved. And then when you're ready, like for example here, if I wanted to add my contacts, I could do save and activate. And then that email will be triggered to go out on the date that I have set. So once you're ready to go, you'll just select save and activate. All right, I'm going to pause here and see if we have any questions before I show you a couple of other things that we can do with campaigns. All right, it doesn't look like we have any questions. Let's see. Okay, I did get a complaint that my screen wasn't big. I'm hoping that that is okay. This is normally the size that I share it on. So if anyone has any complaints about what I just showed and couldn't see it, please let me know. I'm happy to go over it again. I'm so sorry that my screen is small. Okay, so another example that I thought would be great to show you is maybe like a seller campaign. So let's say you have someone that has decided to sell their house with you. I know personally when I sold my house, there were a lot of emails that my realtor had to send me to kind of prepare for that process. For example, like getting my house ready, making sure that it was staged well, that my, kitchen counters were decluttered, that every single room smelt similarly so the buyers could have a great experience with smell. So checklist items. And then, once all the touring was done, I needed another email that just talked about like, oh, I got an offer, what comes next, all of that. So I thought it would be great to have like an automated campaign for that. So I'm going to walk you guys through how to use ActivePipe in that regard. And if anyone has any other ideas that they want to share in the chat or the Q&A about like something that you guys would like help with creating a campaign for that you're sick and tired of sending like, multiple emails for, and there's a way that we can automate it, feel free to let me know and I'm happy to try to work that out with you. Okay, back to create campaign. I'm just going to call this like seller campaign. Okay. So in this case, you would pick you would probably pick that contact specifically that is going to be selling their house. I mean, if you have multiple people like selling in the same time frame, you may have more than one, but more than likely, you're probably just going to have like one or two that are listing their houses with you, and you just want them to be enrolled in this campaign. So you'll find them and add them. And then the next thing is date and time. Something that's really cool actually that I see used a lot is instead of just hand selecting that contact specifically out of here, you can actually give them a new tag. So let's say I decided I'm going to sell my house with you. I'm a contact in ActivePipe, and you can just label me as recently listed or something like that, that kind of signals like where I am in this process. And once you give me that tag, we can actually have the campaign automatically begin as soon as that tag is added. So recently listing. I see a lot of people use this for past clients. So another example would be, let's say you just closed on a house and you want to keep in touch with your client and make sure you're checking in with them. So maybe you send out a 1 month after closing, hey, it's been a month since you've closed, hope all is well. Here's a couple of interior decorating tips or whatever to make your house a home or something. And then a yearly check-in. So anyways, this would be a great option to kind of manage that past client nurturing. Because once you tag them as a past client, this campaign will begin. So that means that you can add me 1 week and you can add Joe Schmo 2 weeks from now, and our campaign timing will be different based on as soon as you give us this tag. So I really like this one because it saves you the headache of having to keep track of when you close on houses and then, what a month out, what a year out from that is to follow up. As soon as you give them the tag, that campaign is automated for you. Any questions on that? Okay, so back to my original example, we're calling this a seller campaign. So we can just say recently listed is the tag. And as soon as you tag that contact as recently listed, what we'll do is we will have an email go out. And maybe that first email is, welcome to, congrats, you're selling your house, welcome. Here's your checklist and timeline. So that's the first email. And then you'll see everything is grayed out. The only option is to add a delay. So maybe a week later, after they get this checklist and timeline, we'll send them another email that is, let's see, what's a good one? Preparing your house for showings. Okay, so now they've gotten this one. A week later, they're getting this one. And then let's say maybe 2 weeks later, depending on timeline, we'll have another email that goes out that says, you got an offer, what's next? And boom, those are 3 really great emails that are automated for you, so you don't have to go in and manually send them. As soon as you tag that person as someone that's listing, these emails are just going to automatically go out, keeping your seller informed. So we're good to save. Any questions on this? You guys are a quiet audience today. Okay, here comes one. Great question, Marcella. Is it 2 weeks delayed from the originally scheduled email? No, it's 2 weeks away from the email before it. So the delay is specific to, see how these blue dots are here kind of connecting it? It's saying it's 2 weeks in between this email and that email. Do we have access to these templates you are using, such as preparing? Marissa, these are completely blank templates. I literally just made them for this webinar. I'll show you. It's nothing. I just gave them a title. It's an absolutely blank email. So I wish I could say that it was something exciting, but I totally just created fake emails for this presentation. Sorry about that. We do have some templates. If you have a CSM, who is the one that asked that question? Marissa. If you have a CSM, please, please, please reach out to them and they would be happy to tell you all about some of the templates that we have available. Okie doke. All right, I'm just gonna go through a couple more things in campaigns. Not really gonna build a campaign now. Oh, let's see. Perfect, Marissa, glad to hear it. Okay, so I just wanted to walk through a couple other things for campaigns and talk through all of these. So again, triggers. These are triggers that are based on the main one that I showed you is like tag change. So what these are saying is if one of these things occur, then an email will be triggered to go out. So the example we used was if a tag is changed or added into a contacts account immediately after emails will go out. Another one is like if you have another campaign where they clicked a link. So maybe you sent out a newsletter and they clicked a link or the website or anything in here, you can have a follow-up email go out. So let's say you already sent a newsletter and you didn't think that you wanted a follow-up email, this is a great way to do that. So that if a clicked link, that's a great one for triggers. And then let's walk through some of the other options. Conditions are great. I love these ones. It's a great way to make sure that people are getting your email. So like, for example, the if opened, maybe they did not open your last email, like the weekly listing campaign. You can actually have that email go out again. Or you could say, hey, I saw you didn't get my last email. Are you still interested in, buying a home, or are you still looking, that kind of thing. So you can definitely target people that aren't opening your emails, which I think is really cool. Let's see, other conditions. I loved the if clicked property. That's a really good one. So you're saying if they've clicked a property in your email, then you can have that follow-up one that we went over where they can schedule a tour. Same with if they clicked a link. So this is a great one. If you send out a survey, maybe you just sold a house and you really would like to get some feedback from your customer. This is a great one. You can add a survey link into your email. And if they did click that survey link, so I don't think any of these have one, but we'll just kind of mimic what it is. So you would find out that specific link, and then you could send a follow-up email that says, thank you for completing my survey, that kind of thing. So again, this is all here to just automate everything for you. And the best part is that it's automating based on, what your contacts are doing with your emails. Let's see. This one is great. If you guys haven't seen, we have a great new feature where you can collect, it's called a sign up page, and I'll show you in a second. But this is a great campaign for that. You go to if attribute, and then you'll select source is equal to sign up page. Sign up pages are only available to people that are not using a CRM. And again, I'm going to show you what that looks like in just 1 second. But this would be a great option for you to use if you are using that sign up page. You can have automatic emails go out that says, thanks for signing up to receive my emails. Looking forward to finding you a home or something like that. So the sign up page is in settings, and it's going to be this last section down here, landing pages, and it'll show up right here. Here's a little preview. And it's basically, you can just copy this link, put it on Facebook, put it on LinkedIn, put it on your website, and your customers can sign up to receive emails from you. They will automatically be added in as a contact in ActivePipe, which is amazing because then you don't have to manually add them. So strongly recommend using this. And then again, taking that one step further is going into campaigns, creating a campaign that is sent out specifically to people that have signed up and enrolled in your emails, that kind of thing. Okay, I see a question. Cecilia, is there a way to customize the landing page? Right now, it's very limited. It's basically, this one doesn't, I'm surprised. It normally does pull in like a headshot of the agent. I'm kind of surprised it's not doing that in this example. But go ahead and check out the one that you have specifically. Take a look at it and feel free to message our support team. I'm being told it's not very customizable at this time, but if you have an idea of something that you'd like to change, does not hurt at all to ask our support team and see what they can do for customization. Okay, so that's pretty much it for campaigns. Hopefully that helps spark some ideas of all the things that you guys can do to automate emails. Do we have any questions before I cut you all loose? Let's see. Okay, great, Cecilia. Any other questions? Does anyone have any examples of like maybe a campaign that they would like help creating? I'm totally happy to help. So if you have any suggestions, please let me know. I think it's more useful for you all when it's actually real examples that are going to benefit you. Okie doke. Well, thank you all for joining. We have some really good this month at ActivePipe webinars coming up. I would strongly encourage you guys to join our content library webinar. It's at the end of the month. It's going to be showing all of these beautiful campaigns that we have created. And there is a cost associated, but definitely worth looking at because I know the biggest thing for agents is, you know, saving time. So I would think it would be really great for you guys to join that and kind of see some great examples of campaigns that you can create. Chuck, great feedback. Thank you. I appreciate it. I am so sorry that I move quickly. I will take that note and try to move slower next time. I will say, Chuck, if you want something that's more a little self-paced, we do have, like I mentioned, when you go to the webinars here, we have other webinars that we've done that are recorded on campaigns. So you can come here, you can watch them and pause them in real time. And then I'm also going to share a link with everyone. Give me 1 second. Okay, here we go. This is a pre-recorded webinar. I'm putting it in the chat that has everything that we went over today included, and it has some questions and interactions just to ensure that you're learning and understanding. So this is a really good self-paced. If we have any admins on the call, strongly encourage you guys to use this for agent training because it will hopefully take that off your plate. We have a great suggestion from Emma Clements. Thank you, Emma. She said, tip for those with teams, you can crop the team headshot to fit a little bit better. And then that's what they do for their team. So Emma, I'm assuming that you're talking about the landing page, this. If Landing page. Okay, great. Yep. So yeah, it sounds like if you crop the headshot a little bit to make it smaller, it shows up here for Teams and looks much better. Thank you for the hot tip, Emma. Appreciate that. All right. Well, that is all I have for today. Chuck, again, thank you for your feedback. Hopefully you'll find what I shared in the chat useful. Cecilia, your question is, do you change the name to match your team name? And I would say yes. Most of my customers that are using Teams, they'll do like a half of the team name in the first name, half of it in the last name. Emma, if you're still on, feel free to answer in the chat. Yes, they do that for their team names. Great. Well, this was fun. I loved that everybody kind of interacted and gave suggestions to one another. That was great. Just want to send out one little quick poll so I can collect more feedback, because you guys help us do better each time. Awesome. Thank you everybody so much, and have a great holiday weekend, and we'll see you on our next team app, which is next Wednesday at 10 a.m. Central. And that one is specifically for admins, FYI. So if you're an agent, feel free to skip that one. We'll reconvene on July 12th. Okie doke. Everyone have a good one. Let's see.